Hey everyone, this is Richard, CEO and founder of altFINS. In this trading video, I will discuss the latest macro data that seems to bode well for risk assets like crypto, and also talk about using fundamental data and some new features on the platform to identify projects with real revenue growth and one of them, the example I'll use is Ethena, ENA, which is an issuer of a stablecoin that's rapidly rising, USDe. All right, so on the macro front, today, just an hour ago, the NFP data, or non-farm payroll data, came out for the month of August. That was released an hour ago, and that's closely watched data point along with inflation to gauge what the Fed may do on the rate cuts. Okay, and the non-farm payrolls in the U.S. rose only by 22,000 jobs in August 2025, which was weak. The U.S. economy is slowing clearly. We can take a look at the longer term chart here. The U.S. economy was adding jobs at a decent pace in 2024, which has been clearly slowing, right? And clearly Fed is watching. One of their main objectives is to maintain or increase employment or reduce unemployment, and clearly this is going against one of their mandates, and the other one is to keep inflation below 2%, or lately maybe even at least 3%. So on the unemployment side, things are not going in their favor, so it's likely that we'll be cutting interest rates. And we can take a look at that. So, interest rates, last time the interest rates were cut were in December and in fact, September 2024. So really a year ago. My bad. That was the first cut in 2024. The last cut, it was in December 2024. I was right. But then since then, the Fed has been quiet, watching what the economy is doing after several rate cuts in late 2024, right? And now it appears that the economy continues to slow, so they will have to likely cut interest rates further. Now, the September interest rate cut, if we look at the September data, there is, let's see, this is September. So the next Fed meeting is on September 17th, and there is an 84% chance that they will cut rates now. Okay, so pretty high chance of rate cuts, and really what everyone else is watching is what will happen in October and December. So the October rate cut for another 25 basis points, there's a 70% chance of a rate cut, and that chance has increased. The probability that they will cut rates in October as well has increased from just yesterday it was 54%, and now it's 70%. So clearly after the NFP data that we just discussed, the chances that the Fed will cut rates not only in September but also in October have risen. And let's take a look at December. There's a 64% chance that they will cut as well, and that's also up from 45%. So all in all, the weaker NFP data suggests that the Fed is likely to cut interest rates not only once, but maybe 2 or even 3 times the rest of this year, and probably continue to do so in 2026. Of course, the Trump administration has been pressuring the Fed to cut interest rates as well. But so far, Powell has talked about being data-driven, data-dependent. But the data clearly shows that the economy is slowing. So that's positive for risk assets, stocks, as well as cryptocurrencies. Lower interest rates typically are positive for interest rates. It's also positive for gold. Now, BTC is up 2% today. Across the board, assets are up. Let's look at 15-minute charts to see like what happened after that announcement or after the release of data to Bitcoin price. Right? Yeah, it's gone up a bit in the last couple hours. Ethereum has gone up as well. So I mean, there's a positive reaction to the news. I know it seems counterintuitive that bad economic news is positive for asset valuations, but that is the case because interest rates are a big driver in asset valuations. All right, and then in terms of some ideas, we've added some interesting fundamental data recently on the revenue side, on the total value locked side as well. We added some searches that you can do some filtering based on this data, but we also added these revenue charts. If you're interested in finding projects with real revenues and revenue growth, then you can look at these revenue charts side by side. But more interestingly enough, or more interesting perhaps, is to do some filters. You can create your own filters here, but we have some preset filters that I think are very useful. One of them that I like to use is the total revenue growth being at least 10% or higher. And there's two projects that, based on the last month's data, have 10% or higher revenue growth and at least $1 million in total revenue, right? So we're eliminating some of the tiny projects. But Ethena is one of them. Maple Finance, also a well-known DeFi project, is also on the list. Now, we can look at their revenue charts here, side by side, right? It's the green columns here that represent the revenues. Obviously, the candlestick chart is here as well, and the orange line represents the valuation, the market cap divided by total revenue. It's the market cap to sales ratio that's equivalent when you look at stocks as well. And so, as you can see, Ethena's market cap to total revenue has actually declined, which is indicating that it's actually gotten cheaper. Meanwhile, revenue is growing. The daily revenue change, there's a lot of volatility there that I wouldn't pay that much attention to, maybe even 7-day, but 30-day, 90-day trends are more telling. And as you can see, in the last 30 days, the revenue has grown 18%, and in the last 90 days, it's grown 210%. That's a threefold increase in revenues for Ethena. I mean, it's phenomenal. And in fact, the revenues are not small anymore. If we look at the revenues, right? The revenues just in the last week were 11 million. In the last month, 63 million. And when we annualize it, 770 million annualized revenue run rate. So this is a pretty sizable project. What do they do? As I mentioned at the outset, they are an issuer, a decentralized issuer of a USDe stablecoin, and they've risen. The USDe stablecoin. If we look at just stablecoins here, so we can do that by filtering for coin type stablecoin. Okay, there's 27 stablecoins on our platform tracked. Obviously, number one is Tether. Number two is USDC issued by Circle, which has gone public recently. And number three now, USDe, with a 12.6 billion market cap. Still small relative to the others, but that's gone up. The total market cap of the stablecoin USDe has gone up over 100% since the beginning of the summer. I think it was about 5.5 billion, and now it's 12.6 billion. So it's rapidly rising. So that shows, indicates the rapid adoption of the stablecoin. And And then I looked at some potential news in our news feed here, and what caught my attention is this second news here, which says that Ethena Labs is nearing fee switch activation. And what that means is that right now ENA token is simply a governance token. But if this fee switch is activated, that the ENA token holders will also participate in the revenues. They'll receive some revenue share. Okay, so that clearly will make ENA far more attractive than it has been until now. And what we're waiting for apparently is that the Ethena Labs at the outset set 4 or 3 milestones that they need to achieve before the fee switch is triggered. USD market cap surpasses 6 billion, which it has clearly. That the cumulative revenue surpasses 250 million, which it clearly has. Just in August alone, they had 61 million. And so the last milestone is listing on top 5 exchanges, or integration with 5 exchanges, centralized. I think 4 out of the top 5 exchanges, in fact. And that's pending. And so they're working on now. That's a big priority for them. And when they do complete that, that obviously the market cap of the stablecoin and adoption will grow further. But also, if the fee switch is triggered, I think the demand for ENA token will also greatly increase. And in fact, I think the price will begin to also reflect this catalyst, positive catalyst, ahead of that in the next few weeks and months. Now, the other news that I found was today also announced, or yesterday, I suppose, that there was a filing with the SEC, US SEC, a company called Mega Matrix, which is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, has filed to basically become a digital asset treasury company for ENA token. And in fact, they're planning to raise $2 billion to begin buying ENA tokens. All right. I'm surprised that the price of the token hasn't gone up a lot more on this announcement. It's gone up just a little bit, because this is pretty major. If this DAT, or digital asset treasury company, does execute on this plan, 2 billion is a pretty big deal. Because if we look at the market cap of Ethena, is only 4.6 billion. So if you have a buyer that's planning to buy $2 billion worth of Ethena, I mean, that's half the market cap. I mean, this is going to go nuts. All right. Now, obviously, it's questionable if they're able to raise 2 billion to execute on this DAT strategy. But there is that potential, and in which case, the price of this token could easily double or triple. So that's an interesting situation. I like it. In terms of the technical analysis, you can check out the technical analysis section here, where we're bullish. I mean, it's clearly in an uptrend. If you look at the trend tab here, it's in an uptrend on the short-term, medium, long-term basis. So it's a matter of where do we enter this opportunity. What's our entry point? And it's close to that 60-cent support levels where I would be a buyer. Right now, it's actually now up 5%, so it's like at 68 cents. But if I get a chance to buy it at 60 cents or so, I'll be a happy buyer. So do leverage a combination of sort of finding fundamentally sound projects with revenue scale and revenue growth, and maybe some news catalysts as well, and then use technical analysis for the right entry and exit strategies as well. I hope this has been helpful. We discussed these ideas in our VIP channel as well, which I encourage you to join. We have a great group of traders customers who are sharing their ideas, best trade ideas, tips, frustrations, and it's a very supportive community. I think it's worth every penny. Thanks for your attention. Keep in mind that this video was for informational purposes only, not meant to be financial advice, and do your own research. Good luck trading.